Once again, welcome to Sitting with Trees, a green love letter to Black elder women. I jumbled that because it's also the name of a study. Let me go ahead and come on camera and say hello to each and every one of you. My name is Dr. Crystal Michelle Omni, and I am the founder of Omni Institute of Wellbeing. I thank each and every one of you for being here and bearing witness to the power of voice and agency of Black women. Before we get started, I always want to ground our sessions in breath work, giving this an opportunity to honor the elders and the ancestors. So if you feel comfortable closing your eyes, I invite you to do so. And if you're not in a safe space where you can do that, at least soften your gaze. In this moment, we inhale collectively and we exhale collectively. Continuing with this pattern of slowness, as you inhale, I want you to inhale the things that you are grateful for. I know they are probably too numerous to count, but inhale the gratitude. And as you exhale, release anything that you feel may be a weight or a burden this morning. I want you to release that space because we are here for the next 2 hours in an interactive, intergenerational, international experience. And I want us to be present and grounded in the now. So we inhale our gratitude and we exhale any blockage. On our next breath, we take the moment to first recognize those who can no longer breathe, those ancestors who have gone on before us. We take this moment to say their names to ourselves through our breath. And as we exhale, we're just exhaling our love to them, that this breath may go wherever they are. We inhale their names. We exhale our love. And I'm sure most of us on this call can probably think of more than just one person. So we take this next breath for the next person that we want to bring into this space of honoring. And we exhale our love to them. On this next breath and our final breath for our grounding session, we're breathing for us. We are breathing for each and every one of us on this call. You all had a decision to make this morning, and you decided to join us. So this space of gratitude is for showing up, for being present, for saying yes to a conversation about Blackness, about womanhood, about aging. This is all in conversation with Sitting with Trees. So we inhale collectively and we exhale. Thank you very much. All right, so I'm going to ask that the team keep their cameras off until I call you onto the screen. This is just going to be a brief introduction, just so you can say hi, so that they can see your face, and then we will get ready to go into the run of show. But I see names of Carla and I believe Marie Claire. If you feel comfortable coming on camera, we would love to see you and be present with you, only if you feel comfortable. And if not, throw a little emoji in the chat so at least we know that you are here rather than just walking around. Yay! Thank you for showing your face, love. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, thanks. Thank you for having me. I loved that beginning. It was brilliant. I'm really excited about this session.
Awesome. And thank you for selecting us. We appreciate it. Carla, thank you, love. How are you?
Hi, good morning to everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for this space.
Yes, thank you for choosing us. We appreciate it so much. All right, so you've been able to see my face. And Marie Claire, feel free to stay on. Carla, feel free to stay on. We want to see your face and feel the energy. And it won't just be me the whole time. So I want to make sure that everybody who has a chance to speak can actually see, because this is literally an international, intergenerational experience. And I see that we also have these two lovely students there. Feel free to introduce yourselves and take it away.
Hi. Hello, my name is Faith. Uh, and my name is Yuri. And we're currently studying in Media and Communication in Goldsmiths University. And yeah, happy to join. It's gonna be exciting experience. Yes.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Is there anybody in the room with you there in London?
Hello, yes, I'm here, Sarah Haynes, the director of the Urban Tree Festival. It's lovely to be here, Dr. Chris. Sorry I can't join you all for the whole of the session, but it's been lovely to be in at the start, and I'm much more relaxed now than I was when we came online. But I'm rushing off to another event halfway through, so I'm here for the beginning, and it's great. Thank you all for joining us today as part of the Urban Tree Festival.
Thank you so very much. And we may not see you in person this year, but you will see us in person at some point.
To hear it.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. So now I'm going to call one at a time everybody to the screen so that you can see who will be your international family for today. I'm going to start with, since this is about Black elder wisdom and Black elder women, I'm going to call Dr. Janet Haynes to the screen.
Good morning. How are you?
I am very well, but I know you weren't asking me. And you were asking them. So
I'm asking the collective, our audience today. I'm so excited to be here and to see you guys, and that you have such an interest in sitting with trees and especially elderly women. Thank you so much.
and I know we're going to get into it, but is it okay if I ask them to guess your age?
Sure, that's always a good one, isn't it?
It is a good
Especially
one
since I did the
because
fool you this morning. We'll see how good I did, okay?
okay, because this is interactive. This is not a 2-hour webinar of sit and get. Y'all will be talking with us. And I know you're not supposed to ask, especially a Black woman, how old she is, let alone try to guess her age. But this is the first question, the guessing game. How old is Dr. Janet?
50.
Okay, we have a guess for 50.
I'll go with 50 as well.
We have a guess for 50.
I think 60.
Okay, we have a guess for 60.
No one else wants to say.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. Say whatever you want to say. What is your guess? It's okay. All right. So, Dr. Janet, would you like to reveal your age with a beautiful drum roll? Give her a drum roll.
Yes, yes, give me a drum roll, please. I'm so grateful to be here and grateful I got to wake up this morning at 71 years old.
Oh, whoa. Oh, God.
Yes. Black elder women, Black elder wisdom. That's what y'all about to get today.
Black don't crack. Yeah.
There you go. That part.
Now,
So far, so good.
so far, so good, right? So, Dr. Janet, thank you for coming to the screen.
Thank you.
Call you back soon.
All right, thank you.
Next up, our elder in residence number 2, Miss Gloria. Will you please come to the screen? Ooh, hello, Miss Gloria. Can't can't hear you. We can't hear you. N-
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay.
All
Those
right.
things aren't working.
Well, thank you so very much for being here this morning.
It's great to be here. I'm excited to see our London people. Spend
Indeed.
time.
Big time. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am. All right. Same game with Miss Gloria.
47.
45, 46.
45, 46, 47.
I would say 60 again.
You're going to say 60? Okay.
Yeah, maybe same.
Maybe same. All right. So drum roll, please. Miss Gloria.
I'm 65. I will be 66 this year.
Yes, yes. Thank you so very much. So, in this room, you have wisdom throughout the decades. And I stand in that space where I guess to some I could be considered an elder at 51 years old. So, thank you so very much for popping on the screen, Miss Gloria. I will call you back momentarily. All right, so next up, I'm going to introduce you to the team. The first member that I'm going to bring to the screen is Jovan. He is our technical manager, operating everything from behind the scenes. But I just wanted y'all to see this lovely soul. Anything you want to just say real briefly?
Hi, thank you all so much again for having us and excited to be a part of this conversation with Truths.
Thank you so very much. All right. Now, thank you for coming to the screen. I'm going to call 2 more people to the screen at the same time. And within that space, it is because this is a conversation. This is intergenerational, as I mentioned before, but also this is research. This is something that has been going on since 2022. Then we had an official study in 2023, 2024. And from there, it has evolved into quite a bit. And I'll tell you about that as we go along. But the first 2 people I'm going to bring to the screen, they are part of cohort number 1. We are now on to cohort 5. But cohort number 1, I'm going to bring to the screen Michelle and Ashley. Hello, Ashley. Hello, Michelle. All right. Is there anything that you would like to say real briefly to our London people?
Thank you so much for having us. Truly, we have been part of the Omni Institute of Wellbeing for, since 2023. Well, 2022. We were the first cohort, and it was very exciting. And I've loved to see how it's grown, and I love to see and be a part of new conversations. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ashley.
Yeah, similar to what Ashley said, I'm just very appreciative to be here and very glad to be able to see the Omni Institute evolve and reach new audiences and being able to have different conversations with different people. So thank you all for letting us be here today.
Thank you so very much. And so before the 3 of them go off the screen, I just want y'all to see that this is the first full round of research mentees They have evolved from mentees to interns, and Jovan is like a consultant for me and for the Institute. Ashley is working as a TA for us, starting as a mentee, but now she's a teaching assistant. And Michelle is like our international relations rep, and you will hear from her at the end of how she was able to bring Bristol into this experience. So literally, when I say we may not be there this year, but we will in the future, it's going to happen. Michelle, Jovan, Ashley, everybody on the team will make that happen. So if the three of y'all will go off, and then I will bring cohort number 3 to the screen. There were actually 2 members in this cohort, and it was Gemini and Eryn. Eryn can't be here this morning, but Gemini, please come to the screen. Oh, I love how you get double handshakes from people. I love this.
But it's just, I haven't let it go since my nephew started it with me. But hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. Oh my gosh. Presenting in the UK. This is so cool. Thank you guys so much for having us here. I really hope you guys enjoy everything. I'm just so excited to be here.
Thank you so much, Jim. We appreciate you. And one of the things I wanted to mention about Gemini is that uh, she was part of another international, actually, everybody here has been part of International Association of Autoethnography and Narrative Inquiry. As I said, this is about storytelling, but it's also about research. But Gemini was the person who helped to co-create the Readers Theater experience, where you can take stories, which we did from our intergenerational and international experience with Bristol, and also take the stories of the elders that you see here, Dr. Janet and Mrs. Gloria, and then turn that into a theatrical performance through the lens of somebody who is probably 40 years younger. Or if I remember correctly, Gemini and Dr. Janet have a birthday that are what, 50 years and one day apart. So it's kind of cool to be able to bring research into artistry, into storytelling. So I just wanted y'all to see the face of Readers Theater here. And so when you see it in person in London, you'll be like, I knew her when. I knew her when. All right. Thank you for coming to the screen, Gemini. All right. So I've been talking for a while, and I see Serena. Hello, love.
Hi there. Thanks so
How are
much for having
you?
me.
How are you,
Yeah,
love?
I'm really good. I'm good, thank you.
Good, good. Where are you tuning in from?
I am based in Nottingham, so middle of England. And yeah, I lead a ethnic diversity network here at the Woodland Trust. So it's bringing two of my favorite sort of topics together. This is so yeah, really pleased to be here.
Yes, yes. We need to talk afterwards then.
Let's do.
All right. Thank you for joining us. All right. So if everybody is ready, it is time for me to be quiet. It is time to hear from our stars. Also, is there anybody else in the room there in London that needs to be introduced?
No.
Okay. All right. All
I
right.
don't, I didn't say where I was from. I'm sorry. So
Yes.
it's just I'm from London, but yeah, my background is urban forestry and community stewardship. So that's why I'm here today, to find out more about trees and communities, and especially in a more diverse context.
Oh, well, you know what? Thank you for interrupting me. Thank you for grounding us.
Sorry, I just
No,
realized I didn't say.
no, that's perfect, because the more we know about who's in the room allows us to add additional layers to what we're talking about, and also make these connections. So it's not just one day we'll be there, maybe in partnership with something that you're working on. So thank you for
Yeah, exactly.
thank you for saying that. Yes, Carla.
Yeah, I would like to add that I'm from Latin America, but I'm living in Scotland. I'm not based in London. I'm in Scotland right now. I'm doing my master's in environmental management, but I'm arborist. So I'm focusing my dissertation on tree equity. So the idea is just to for all people in the cities to have the same benefits that we can take from trees, you know. So I really like this kind of like merge between the environmental justice, the different populations that live in the city, and trees. So yeah, I'm so interested on it. So I wanted to share it with you.
Thank you so much. Y'all, we are already winning. We are already winning. We have two students who finished their second year who's working on media and relations, I believe, or media relations. Is that what you said?
Media and communication.
Okay, media and communication. So we are winning across the board, and y'all haven't even heard from the guest stars yet. So I'm going to be quiet and bring Dr. Janet and Mrs. Gloria to the stage. Let's give them a round of applause. All right, all right. So this is an interview, but it also is following a methodology called the Omni process. And within the Omni process, there are 5 steps. One of the things that I disliked about going through my dissertation is when we learned about theory, it was kind of abstract. I want theory to be lived. I want theory to be experienced. So, being in a space where I was turning 50, I wanted to know what was it like for Black women in their 60s. I was being selfish in my dissertation and my postdoc. Like, what will the next 10 years look like for me to prepare for my 60s and then to prepare for my 70s? So I wanted to have lived theory. The other thing about my dissertation was learning about methodology. I did not see very many methods that showed steps. I have OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, or I need steps. And the Omni process was the fusion of the theory and the methodology that I was missing in my dissertation. And we were able to go to Sarasota and conduct a study where we could put the theory and the method together. So now you're about to hear live what that was like. Step number 1 of the Omni process. How did you get here? I'm going to start with Dr. Janet. Can you answer that question for us?
How did I get here? Well, I guess part of the reason I'm here, of course, is because of my parents, etc. But again, most of it is because of my background. I have a 50-year career background, doctorate in education, and the latter was probably the most difficult thing I ever did in my life, was earning that doctorate. And it was particularly tough for me as I recognized the marginalization that exists among Black women who want to be scholars. And I made the decision that day as I ran barefoot through the Alexandria Hilton Hotel on the day of my graduation, all the way down to the basement to get my paper signed so that I could actually walk across the stage and earn my degree, that I would make sure that nobody else would have to run that path, literally or figuratively, ever again. And so that meant that I would coach emerging doctoral students and any other Black woman who was interested in whatever small pearls of wisdom and encouragement that I could give. And that's what I did.
And I get to call her my auntie. She is my academic auntie, and I call her AJ. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
that.
Thank you.
Gloria, how did you get here?
I'd have to start the same way as Dr. Janet, and that would be, I think about my parents. I was blessed enough to have a mother and a father, and my raising, it wasn't perfect, but it was wonderful. And that brings me to, you said, where am I here, which is now. And that's, I'm currently an orphan, is that I don't have either my mother or my father. So today, I sit here without parents, but I have the memories. Thanks to my Sarasota experience, I'm able to listen and hear their voices now. So that's where I am now.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. And I'm I'm glad that you said that you could listen and hear their voices now. In our opening grounding with breath work, I ask that we bring our ancestors into this conversation and we inhale and we bring them in and we exhale our love. Everything that we do and we talk about today, I want to dedicate it to my grandma. Um, in 1971, Mother's Day, she was gifted a Bible. And inside of that Bible, she wrote her truth. And on April 16th, 1973, she wrote the words, "Never be afraid of trees. We will never leave you." Very poetic, very prophetic, because this is what we're doing. So, Gloria, when you said you can listen and hear them, thank you. I wanted to let the audience know how we even got here of listening and hearing from Grandma. All right. So, Dr. Janet and Miss Gloria, please stay on the screen. We are about to go through the arts-based research piece, the three pieces that sit in the middle of the Omni process. And as you are giving your answers, I invite the audience to think about these three steps because you will be doing these three steps. This is interactive, remember. So whether you put it in the chat or you put it on a piece of paper and you want to read it out loud, but this is interactive. Step number 2 of the Omni process is eco-mindfulness. Within eco-mindfulness, we're thinking of eco as in environment, mindfulness as in presence with our senses. What are we hearing? What are we seeing? What are we smelling? What are we touching and feeling? So, in terms of eco-mindfulness, Dr. Janet, I invite you to go back to Sarasota and talk about any of those connections to the census and bring the audience to Sarasota with you.
Sarasota brought me a new level of peace because it was literally loaded with trees. I don't think I've ever seen that many trees anywhere unless it was a forest, and that was a miniature forest. And as I walked through the trees, I felt such a sense of healing, such a sense of peace. I could actually hear my father talking to me because he loved the outdoors, always planted gardens. We always had tons of trees in our yard, etc. Even though there was some stigmatized sense towards trees, we were taught to see the trees as healers and givers of life and restoration within the process of being within nature. And so I honor all of that space and all of that knowledge with him and thoroughly enjoyed the process. I took some selfies while I was out there, and they're actually some of the best selfies of my life. And yep, that's me. And I actually ended up having, I'm using them now, as a matter of fact, as part of my, online presence and various things, just because I like seeing that greenery. Even seeing that picture takes me back to the days in Sarasota where there was such peace, such joy.
Mm.
Yeah, and I felt like I'd come full circle, if there's such a thing. But I beg your pardon?
No, I was like, just the idea of coming full circle at 71. I love that concept with trees. So
Well, yeah, because we live lives that are primarily Western constructed, based on what we're supposed to do, what we think we need to do, what should happen, etc. And in that moment, my spirit felt completely unrestrained and completely at peace and centered within those trees. And I actually couldn't get enough of them. Every few feet, I was stopping to snap a pic because there was just so much joy in those trees. And then as I walked back, because I actually went away to a little building so I could process the information right away and started writing. When I finished my writing, I actually came back and I remember I sort of strolled back to the cottage we were staying in because I was busy thanking the trees for what they had done for me and honoring their time and my space and place. and the feeling of wholeness I had and the feeling of rejuvenation that I had. And it was sort of like the encouragement I needed at this age to keep going,
Mm,
literally.
mm,
Because once you start to age, there are days when you don't feel like doing anything.
mm.
And I can think about those trees now, and all of a sudden I've got a fire going. I'm ready. I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning thinking I'm going to be on the, Gayle King set of CBS News or something and doing the whole thing. Okay. So, and that's the energy I want to have as I age. I don't want to be one of those people that looks like my mother. And there is nothing wrong with my mother, but again, that was the archetype of that era where once people got old, they cut off all their hair and, wore these moo dresses that would fit, a tree, literally. And they sort of just settled into what was and what is for them in that space instead of looking beyond what is in front of them. And as a scholar, I pride myself on never looking at what is right in front of me, but always having and entertaining the concept that there can be many truths. And it's my job as a person here on earth to try to acknowledge, find, and see what I can do with all of this information.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
So that is step number one for eco mindfulness. Before I go to Miss Gloria for step number two, I invite the audience. I want you to transport yourself. And it could even be right now, and you're looking outside and you see your trees, but tap into your senses. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? And give us a couple sentences in the chat, please. And then Jovan will read that for us and we'll continue on.
Your response from Carla saying gratitude. Do you feel that? And Maria
Mhm.
Claire, it's gray and rainy here, but I'm feeling uplifted. Oh, we're glad you're feeling uplifted, even though you're in
Yeah.
a gray and rainy weather. We're glad we're bringing that warmth to you. The sounds of trees swishing. Yes.
Thank you for reading those. That
Mhm.
three people. Anybody else want to chime in? All right. The students want to chime in? What you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you're feeling, what you're touching, what's touching you.
We are like near nature right now, but I'm just thinking of like the outside because today is quite gloomy and it's a bit cold out. But on the way here to this art studio, I could hear like a lot of trees swishing. So
Oh, thank you. When we do that, when we share that space of eco mindfulness, we're all able to be transported to where you are. And I want to make sure that this stays interactive. So that's why we're asking you questions to get involved with the steps of the Omni process. And thank you for just telling us where you are and what you're feeling. Step number two might be a little
Oh,
more challenging. So
oh,
I'm
we
going
have another message
yeah.
if we want to include that from Annabelle. You're saying it's raining, and I can see the through the boughs of ash and oak trees moving against the wind. I can hear the magpies calling to each other outside. Oh, you're giving us a full imagery. I'm loving this.
Yeah. Good.
Yes. Thank you. Oh, hello, welcome.
and I'm just coming to check in and
Wonderful. Thank you so very much for joining us. What is your name?
Manya. Manya,
Manya.
Manya.
Manya. Thank you so very much for joining us. I don't know if you heard the first step. Did you hear any of the first or second step of the Omni process?
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, a little.
Would you like to join in on step number two of eco mindfulness?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah.
What are you hearing in nature right now, or touching or smelling? Bring us in.
Like right now, what am I experiencing?
Yes.
Well, I can smell the paint in the room right now.
That's real. That's real. Thank you for bringing that forward because one of these times, I don't remember because I do the Omni process frequently, I couldn't smell anything. I was congested. So there are times, even when it's, well, what do you smell? When you're tapping into all your senses, what do you smell? Sometimes the answer is nothing. Sometimes the answer is paint. Sometimes you're outdoors and you want to smell Mother Earth, but you're smelling the environment, which is not as beautiful as what you are seeing. So when we're just thinking about environmental justice, what about our smell? So this all ties in together. And so, Carla, when you're working on that dissertation, tap into the eco mindfulness. I'm always going to come back to that, Dr. Carla. All right, thank you. All right, step number, was there something else that came up in the chat?
Yes, we have one from Serena Law. To live in the countryside, feeling connected to nature, the light, the greenery, no matter the weather.
Mm.
I love
Okay.
that.
Now, Jovan, did you tell them about step number 4? Or did you already tell them? Because I feel like they know what I'm about to talk about before I'm talking about it. Making sure that he didn't give y'all the secrets because step number 4 of this 5-step journey is love letter writing. And I feel like y'all are already writing love letters in your answers. So if you're doing that on purpose, well done. Well done. If you're doing it on accident, well done. So, all right. Step number 3 of the Omni process is picture taking. And we're going to go to Miss Gloria for step number 3. Can you take us back to Sarasota? And Sarasota is in Florida, just so everybody is aware. Can you talk to us about your picture taking experience?
Yes, I took several pictures. Um, I did not take a selfie. I should have now that I'm listening to Miss Janet. But I took a lot of pictures of just nature. I took pictures of the beautiful banyan trees that I had been introduced when I got there. I took pictures of the water. I took pictures of a statue that stood out to me. And that one picture that I can reflect on even now is it reminds me of my mom because it was a sculpture and it had wings. And at that time, I hadn't gotten closure on my mom's passing. And it seemed as though just getting drawn to it, it gave me closure because I was able to kind of communicate in nature um, and and got that, I don't know, what I needed at that moment in Sarasota. Yes,
Thank you. Thank you. And I remember that statue.
yes.
And I remember we went to Walgreens to print out photos of the picture. And Walgreens was an intentional selection because my mama became my ancestor 10 years ago, but she used to work at Walgreens. So whenever I go to the Walgreens pharmacy or the Walgreens photo department, just seeing the name Walgreens transports me to my mama. So I remember that photo and seeing those angel wings and kind of understanding what you were going through in that moment. So thank you. Thank you for that. For the audience to think about pictures, this isn't a time for like hold up your phone and show us, but I would love for you to take a mental picture of a time when you were convening, you were sitting, you were at work, but nature was around. And that moment of healing for you. If there was a moment of deep healing, as you heard from Miss Gloria earlier, being an orphan, not having her parents now, if there was a moment of healing from personal trauma, if there was a moment of healing of just plain joy, I want you to paint that picture for us in the chat, please. Because for this step number 3 of picture taking, for some, it is literally capturing that selfie. For others, it is capturing what's in front of them. For others, it's the mental picture. For others, it's the show and tell. But pictures are an important element. And as I'm talking, please write in the chat or on a piece of paper, preferably chat, so Jovan can read that out for us. But the reason why I included this as one of the steps is because sometimes words just don't capture it. Sometimes it's the image that tells the story more and actually better sometimes than the words. And this is actually, if you're working on your dissertation, hint, hint, Carla, or anybody who is working in the community and you're looking at ways to engage the community utilizing picture taking, the arts-based research terminology for this is photo elicitation interviewing. It is also called photo voice. It really depends on what your objective is with the photos. What we did was photo elicitation interviewing, where the photos, you could take as many, I asked them, take as many pictures of things that you wanted, photo. Elicitation was you can only pick 3 of those photos to talk about during our interview. So photo elicitation interview. You're able to narrow down the importance from your photos to be able to articulate the meaning. So just so you can have some tools to take with you. All right, Jovan.
Yeah, we have one to start in the chat saying sitting on a field with new friends.
Sitting on a field with new friends. Ooh, I want to dive in. I want to dive in. Was there a tree? What did the sky look like? Just that simple sitting on a field with new friends. Oh, anybody, whoever wrote that, because I'm not looking in the chat. Jovan's our technical manager. Anybody want to come off the screen and tell me? Yes, 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 yes.
I don't know, it was very significant to me because in my first year of university, I didn't really have any like proper friends. And it was this weird goal of mine. I was like, the one thing that I want to do is just be able to like sit with good people on a field while it's sunny. That's like the one thing I want to have. And in my second year of university, it went a lot better for me because I managed to make these friends. And this year, I got to sit on the field with new friends and I thought it was really nice. And it was definitely a nice touch because it was sunny and it was just good vibes all around. And I'd come very far in a year, so I thought that was really good.
I could dive into that. Like that could be a whole nother segment. Thank you so very much. And I want you to hold on. May I give you a nugget that I heard? I want to echo back to you.
Yeah.
I've come so far. I want you to sit with the vibration of those words of I've come so far. You are able to see the growth in nature. And I bet you if you go back to that spot, there's something that has grown. Like there could have been a blade of grass, there could have been a branch from a tree, there could have been a bird's nest. But as that something has grown, you have also grown. Congratulations on growth.
Thank you.
All right, Jovan.
We have a few new messages in the chat, starting from Marie Claire. I have an image of a memory when I was on a beach, totally isolated, age 19, on the Galapagos Islands. I managed to take a photo of this time by putting the camera at a distance on timer. It was a blissful. I return there in my mind often, and my mom, who passed away 14 years ago, is always there sitting beside me.
Gloria? Gloria? I saw your body react to that. Whoever just Let me ground this first. To me, it's important to say names, to keep them alive. I remember interviewing Dr. Janet, and she would say, my dad, my dad, my dad. And then I'm like, let's say his name. When Gloria was saying, my mom, my mom, my mom, I'm like, let's say her name. So whoever just wrote that, if you feel comfortable, I would love to hear the name of your mom.
Veronica.
Thank you. When we speak, there's a vibration that runs through our body and exits our mouth. Her name is that vibration as we bring that forth. We are sitting with trees, and to have that memory, and what did you say? The I was going to call it hyperlapse, but whatever that photo technique was, and that you could look back and see her in that moment. You know what? This is a very vulnerable space, and thank you for being vulnerable. We appreciate you. We didn't say this earlier, and everybody on the team knows that I'm a marshmallow. So if this is a time where we need to cry or laugh or yell or snot, this is not just a safe place. This is what I call a sacred place that allows for those type of emotions. So thank you for painting that picture and for saying her name. All right, Jovan.
We have another message from Carla. Living for the first time, the 4 seasons in a year. It's something new for me because I come from tropical weather. This gave me the chance to connect with another face of Mother Earth, as same as I connected with a new version of me here. Seeing trees without leaves, just resting as I did in my first winter. That level of connection was awesome.
I just moved from Florida to Illinois, and I experienced 4 seasons for the first time in a long time. So whoever shared that, talk to me briefly about your winter, the naked trees. Y'all, you had me on that one. So whoever said that.
Actually, I can see the trees like from my window. I have like two neighbors here, neighbors trees. And it's so nice, and I feel really like grateful because I saw like the whole process, because I came here in September last year. So I saw like the whole process, just watch them without the leaves, and they were like resting, and I wanted to do the same because I'm not used to have like less than 5 sunlight hours per day. So it was so hard for me, and they were resting, and I said, yeah, I have the right to rest too. So I was connected with them, and I really appreciate it. And now, because it's is spring, I have more energy, and they are ready again with beautiful leaves, and the birds started like singing, for example, from today at 4 a.m. So the nature has a lot of energy, as same as me. So I really like this kind of this is another phase that I'm experiencing from Mother Earth.
Oh,
I like it.
thank you. Thank you for bringing us in. And I could see all of that. And even the 4 a.m. disruption. Same thing is happening right here outside of Chicago. Thank you for that. All right. Was there anything else in the chat before we move on?
Yes, we have another one from Annabelle. Not a literal picture, but I think about a holly bush that was in my primary school. I remember running around it with my friends, the shelter of the topiary and the dirt underfoot, the first time I was stung by a bee. It makes me remember my childhood with my brother. I know the bush is still growing there, like us.
Mm, mm. So y'all could just take this whole webinar over with this interaction. Thank you so very much for being involved. But what I got from that was that shelter and brother. So if you could just come off of mute and tell us just briefly about what that shelter felt like. If that person is still here. We can come back to you if you don't feel comfortable. No worries. Well, Dr. Janet and Miss Gloria, thank you for giving us your wisdom. Thank you for being able to walk us through step 1 of how did I get here, step 2 of picture taking, step 3, or I'm sorry, step 2 of eco-mindfulness. And also we're about to go into love letter writing, which is step 4. But y'all get to go off camera because we're about to read some love letters to you. They were responsible for writing their own love letters, Miss Gloria and Dr. Janet, but now we're going to turn it to the students so that the students can read their love letters. So let's clap it up for Dr. Janet and Miss Gloria as we move to this next segment. All right, thank you so very much. We are now going to call to the screen Eryn and Gemini. All right, so there's Jim. Eryn is popping on here, and there's Eryn. All right. So just so everybody is aware, we're going into this second part of our 4-part engagement. It is now 6:51. If you need to do like a body roll because you've been sitting there for a while, join me on this body roll and this stretch. The sun is popping out over the house over yonder, and y'all could see behind me this reflection. I could not have planned that if I tried. The sun is coming in, reflecting to say it's time for part 2. All right. So Dr. Janet, feel free to turn your camera off because the students are about to shower some love on you. All right. So what we have now is step number 4, which is love letter writing. And as a recap, step number 1 is how did I get here? Step number 2 is eco-mindfulness. Step number 3 is picture taking. And step number 4 is love letter writing. And I call it love letter writing rather than journaling because this comes from a strength-based perspective. And if you need to cite this somewhere for your work, this is coming from the field of social work. So strength-based approach is about seeing what is right in the world. It is about writing and being and living what is right in the world. To bring in the terminology in case you need it, ontology is ways of being, epistemology means ways of knowing. So this is a strength-based onto-epistemological approach to arts-based research. And I am going to ask Eryn to say just a little bit about yourself and read your first letter.
Alrighty. Good morning, everyone. My name is Eryn Files. I am a rising third year at Florida State University studying international affairs, and I'll be moving into public administration. My first letter is also rooted in joy. It is called Celebrate the Joy Makers in Our Homes. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. Oh. Celebrate the joy makers in our homes. Dear beloved soulflowers, an early morning rise to steal a few moments of solemn stillness, abruptly followed by the rumble of a bustling household. Countertops are sprinkled with crumbs, freshly pressed clothing thrown on in a hurry, loved packed lunchboxes grabbed after a brief hug or a tossed thank you. A woman sighs in her car, cherishing the fleeting moments of stillness before she must enter her place of work, to yet another chorus of tossed thank yous and requests. She wears the mask of smiling balance and order. Yet she lives at the intersection of womanhood and blackness, a combination that fosters a dual identity, and with it, a thankless expectation to carry so much beyond the average view. Next time your mother or mentor shows up with baked goods or a specially pressed outfit, take the time to demonstrate excessive gratitude. If that person is you, offer more than fleeting moments to breathe. Honor your contributions with regular pauses. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. You are more than your work. Thank you. With love, joy, and positivity, signed, Eryn.
Snap, snap. Thank you so very much. And this interactive piece, if you could stop sharing the screen okay, thank you. And with this interactive piece, since we have multiple love letters, if you're in the audience, please just write down your notes. You can throw it in the chat, wherever you want to put it, but we will be reading it when we're finished with this segment. So the way we do this, and I'm trying to bring in research and methodology so that everybody has tools that they can take with them from this webinar. What we are going to ask you to do is the 3CQ plus Q method. I did not develop this. This is an interactive tool by Dr. Jennifer Stewart Mitchell, if you need to cite her. But the 3CQ is give Eryn a compliment. That's your C. Provide Eryn with a connection, something that she said that connects to your lived experience. Make a comment. So we'll just do the 3C. You can pick any one of those 3Cs. A compliment, a connection, or a comment. All right, Eryn, thank you very much for that letter. And when we are finished, we will explain what those citations were and how this is more than just love letter writing, but it's grounded in scholarship. Gemini, please read 3 of your short poems.
Alrighty, let me share my screen as well. Here we go. Oh, this is hard. I picked 4. One's on the chopping block. Let me zoom in on it. Okay. So this one is titled Time. Dear beloved soulflower, the human body is a pendulum constantly moving. It creates a past when it swings forward to reach the future. The motion becomes repetition, learning to love and push through tribulation. And with time, passes on its wisdom. Then death does what we fear the most, stop what we know so well. Motion, breath, and life. Yet it can never take away the fact that someone once lived. So when the pendulum stops, forever stagnant, we should not fear the still, but honor that it was once in motion. With unapologetic authenticity, Gemini Williamson. Okay. I'll read this one next. I'll scroll a little bit. Dear beloved soulflower, you have barely grown, yet you are full of pain, aching for a semblance of peace. You traverse a jagged line of masculinity, made to feel otherworldly, to deny this is where you ought to be. A grown man when you are just a boy, always a boy when you have grown into a man, taught to swallow the toxins of masculinity, made to feel the effects of its poison. Cry until it fills up the space. Little black boy, your feelings are not a disgrace. Let that hurt slowly be replaced. Let your light shine in its place. For your masculinity is not within your muscle or how much you can hustle. It is in your boyish charm, so never lose sight of who you truly are, with unapologetic authenticity. And I didn't read the title of this one, my bad. It's Little Black Boy. And then, this is so hard. I'll just read rest. Dear beloved soulflower, stop, sit with intention. Often we're pushed to constantly produce. When was the last time you just existed? Let yourself be. We have become performers, products, and profits, constantly hustling and grinding so we don't become invaluable. But it does not have to be that way. Once again, stop. Sit with intention. Let yourself rest to rejuvenate. Listen when your lungs burn with the need to breathe and your hands twitch to craft a safe space for yourself. With unapologetic authenticity, Gemini Williamson. Now stop sharing my
No,
screen.
go ahead. Go ahead and give us, you're on a roll. Give us number 4.
Number 4? Yay! Okay, let me reshare. And then this is my last piece, self. Dear beloved soulflower, you embody the rose that grew from concrete. You are red with passion, with anger, with love. You are devoted to bettering the world because you care for the people on it. That's why you are enraged at its current state. You are green like the leaves that symbolize hope and life. Ever the hopeless romantic, you daydream about falling in love. Not just with someone you can call cheesy pet names, but with your career in the place you call home. But to be green is also the color of envy. As you try to bloom into womanhood, you sometimes feel a bit jealous of those who do it seemingly effortlessly. You also brandish thorns generated to protect you from harm. While the jagged protrusions may scare some who truly wish to love the true you, treasure them as much as your petals. Now your concrete base is shared with the garden of loved ones who nourish you down to the root. So stay evergreen as you blossom through the concrete that grounds you. With unapologetic authenticity, Gemini Williamson.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you so very much. All right, we're going to flop it back on over to Eryn. Eryn, please give us one of your extended love letters.
Care Bear, you're muted.
All right, my camera was off, my audio was off. If you're speaking, I can't hear you.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, y'all. Showing up fully as one's authentic self. Beloved Soulflowers. As I went through school, it almost seemed like there were categories for young Black ladies. Most popular were the it girls, the fashionable Black girls, their braids never frizzy, nails always shining, centerpieces on every dance floor, and never short of relevant commentary on the newest trends. It made me proud to be Black and to be expected to show up beautiful and gifted. Yet I learned that this expectation came with others, assumptions that you were impure or fast, lies that forced my peers into a box, that blocked them from prestigious positions. Um, from prestigious positions. No one should have to choose between the joy of entering womanhood with class and personal style and losing the potential of her childhood. With love, joy, and positivity, signed, Eryn.
Thank you, thank you. Did you have one more that you wanted to bless us with?
I do. I had several, but I'm gonna go with this one.
Okay. And when you get finished with this one, please share with the audience why you have citations on yours and why there were footnotes on Gemini's and how this tied into the Dear Beloved Soulflowers, and we'll talk about it more.
Okay. I'm going to end with sacred positioning, based on the theme of our research. So, beloved soulflowers, Black women have always maintained ultimate power and control over their own lives. Often forgotten is the great influence we hold over our communities in the same way. Mothers, mentors, office leaders, faith leaders, organizers. Through our versatility, Black women are some of the most connected and skilled people in modern societies. If these networks are leveraged as pipelines for ideas, like initiating community gardens, implementing supply drives, and training the next generation to prioritize sustainability and morality, we can become the change we desire, no longer needing the systems of this world to finally deliver upon our requests for long-awaited respect and support. It must be our decision to laugh at the naysayers, embrace our unique positioning, and amplify our voices as we continue to elevate ourselves, our families, and our communities. With love, joy, and positivity, Eryn. And then the reason why there are citations with each of the love letters is that our love letters were intended to be a way to disseminate our research findings to a community that's not traditionally advertised to. And so when you have these research articles about wellness and about joy, about the struggles that individuals carry, very often they are generated and disseminated with vocabulary terms that aren't common to the average person and usually circulated within very restricted networks. And the research that we do is meant to uplift our communities. And so, as part of the Omni Institute, we want to make sure that we can share that research in whatever it is that we found in a way that's understandable. And so, these love letters translate well, the research and studies that I found into a way that into a readable method that's very attainable and understandable by the average person. And then attaching the citations encourages individuals to go back and read about each of the studies that backs up these love letters.
And before I go to Gemini to talk about her notation system, and if you can just pull out like one of your references to see, so they can see how this works in real time. Eryn, you read 3 pieces, Jim read 4 pieces, but can you tell the audience how they could see all 71 pieces?
Yes. So last year, the Omni Institute launched our official website and an Instagram page. And so we are running a series right now that is Dear Beloved Soul Letters on Instagram. So if you follow our Omni Institute Instagram, which will be put in the chat along with our website address, you can follow our series and get to know our writers a little bit more. And we have a team right now of 4 young ladies who have written letters, or sorry, 5 young ladies who have written letters, and you'll get to see them on a rotation throughout the next year.
You will get your, thank you so You will get your applause here as soon as we hear from Gemini and how you can show us in real time how you took a particular research article and applied it into your poetic expression.
All right, I'll reshare my screen just to help with the flow of it. So, like Dr. Omni mentioned, we have bridge scholarship with our arts-based dissemination. So looking at, for example, my piece, Little Black Boy, I have these little, let me zoom in a little bit more. I have these little footnotes right here. And if you scroll down to the bottom of my page, you have the citations. And my workflow and my thought process as I move through these is that I wanted to focus on a thematic piece. So, for example, with this one, I wanted to focus on Black men and their gendered realities and their lived experiences. So I used FSU's open access library and looked for, I'm blinking on the word, open access articles. It's one of the things we prioritize a lot with the Omni Institute because we really emphasize that everybody is a scholar. So we want to try to make sure any scholarly information that we can also provide is accessible. So let me move this panel. It's making it hard for me to, there we go. So for example, I found this piece right here, Preserving Innocence. It is truly a beautiful piece that talks about this almost paradox and this dichotomy that Black boys experience as they age. These are the scholars that created this piece. And it told 2 stories, one of a young Black boy, his name was Amir, I believe. His name was Amir, and it talked about how when he was a little boy, he went through what is called guilty until proven innocent, where he had a altercation or miscommunication with a white peer of his who did not want to share the toy with him. But instead of him being extended the same grace that the young white baby was given, he was automatically presumed to be the aggressor in the situation until his parent went to a parent teacher conference and saw the two interacting and noted how the white child was actually more aggressive than him. And so it's oftentimes Black men are treated as inherently more violent or that they are potentially more of a threat. We've seen studies where I remember this one study, I have to remember the scholar's name, where they did a like eye scanning study where they noted how teachers across every race and gender were more likely to look at young Black boys for potential disruptive behavior, even when they mimic the same behavior as their non-Black peers or even just peers of the opposite gender. So while Black girls were looked at heavily as well, young Black men, excuse me, were looked at with an even higher precedent. So that was one of the pieces in one of the stories that was in here. But then it also looked at a student named Dion who was struggling mentally with the burden and the labor of having to be almost like another caretaker for his brother and trying to balance being a caretaker and also going to school. And because of that, he kind of internalize a bit of a toxic masculinity we often see with young Black men, where they feel like the only emotion that they can express is aggression, ironically enough. And it talked about how it took maybe a few teachers, and I believe it was the assistant principal, to actually sit down and ask Dion, what's going on. And, once they had that fruitful conversation, Dion actually was able to then balance out, right, going to school while also being a caretaker in a sense. And I think it just speaks to how a lot of times, going back to Amir, right, that guilty until proven innocent spectrum, right? The idea that young Black boys do not experience things like pain, sadness, frustration, all these other emotions, right? But simply only aggression. And therefore it creates this hypervigilance around them. So as I was reflecting on this piece, I really wanted to create a space where I can acknowledge that young Black men sit at this very painful, I guess, lived experience. And I wanted to encourage them to know that they are more than just anger and aggression, right? And this need to be hyper scrutinized or policed to such an extent. So that's my thought process and how I wanted to bridge that scholarship in.
Thank you. Thank you for showing us in real time how this work plays out. So to our audience, first of all, let's clap it up for both Jim and Eryn. And to our audience members, this is now time for your 3CQ for both Gemini and Eryn. Please provide them with either a compliment, a connection, or a comment. Jovan had already put the 3CQ in the chat, so you can read it again if you forget. And Jovan, is there anything in the chat that we need to read so far?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. So while that is coming forward, I want to follow in their footsteps. What I'm going to share with you now, 4 years ago, I shared with London. And this piece was shortlisted. And because it was shortlisted, it had the visibility to go out to quite a few people. And it was the love letter to Black women. So I will go ahead and share my screen so that you can see Photosynthesis, a green love letter to Black women. Imagine if every tree was a Black woman. To see her glory from root to crown, just imagine. Hey, sis, I see you over there. I see you waving to me. I receive your wave as we share this gentle breeze. Hey, sis, I see your reach. I see you standing tall. I lift my head to see your crown. In this space, we shall never fall. Hey, sis, I love your shade and the various colors you present. I connect with your body and recognize those wrinkles as our testament. Hey, sis. I love how we are rooted in a soil that matches our tribe. It is nutrient rich, brown and black, and has its own unique vibe. Hey, sis. I love your subtle movements, smooth like a couple's dance. Your very presence gives me the permission to move and take a chance. Hey, sis, thank you for the branches that invite me to join. It is because of your existence that this new phrase is coined. Tall we are, standing side by side. Towards the sun we grow, with a shine we won't hide. A healing presence for all to see. Some given to you, some kept for me. I love you, sis. May your crown continue to be kissed by the sun. So 4 years ago, I wrote that piece for the Urban Tree Festival in the Walk, Listen, Create. Now here we are 4 years later with Sitting with Trees, a green love letter to Black elder women. I keep on throwing in wisdom because I guess it's just subconscious, because we also have a course, a university level course offered at Washburn University in Topeka, Kansas. And we just had 19 students complete the course. And it's called Sitting with Trees, Nature, Memory, and Black Elder Wisdom. So everything that you're learning today in this webinar, imagine going deeper as an undergraduate for 8 weeks. We just did that. All right. So is there anything that we need to read in the chat before we continue?
Yes. So we have a message from Marie Claire. I appreciate the words encouraging those who undertake tasks of love to take a breath for themselves. And there's another response saying, very powerful and meaningful. I felt rather impacted listening to these specific pieces. And then we have a final message from Carla saying, I felt so inspired listening to you, made me think, what is my relationship with trees as a Latino girl? Oof, it makes me feel so touched. Thanks for this. Oh, and there's another one. High vibrating words. This poetry is medicine for the soul.
That was for y'all, Gemini and Eryn. Thank you so very much. And Jovan, thank you for reading that. Now I get to be quiet. I get to go off the screen, and I'm going to bring forth cohort number 1. Michelle and Ashley, please come to the stage. So, Michelle and Ashley are about to take over. Literally. I am going to go off camera. I am going to mute myself, and they are now going to conduct an interview with all of you with a particular emphasis on Dr. Janet. Please come to the screen. And Miss Gloria, please come to the screen. And to our lovely audience, remember I said that this is interactive. I said that this is intergenerational. I said it's international. Now you get to see this intergenerational aspect play out in real time, not scripted. So, Michelle and Ashley, it's all yours.
Well, first, I would just like to say that I thought that that was absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing those stories. Thank you so much for sharing those love letters, and for everything that everyone's been sharing. It's just, it warms my heart to just see this all coming together and this conversation about trees. Before I ask my first question, Michelle, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, just kind of echoing what you were saying. Also, excuse like my lighting, getting an awkward glare here. But it's always nice to hear just such an engaging conversation surrounding love, surrounding nature, surrounding wisdom. I know that it always fulfills me getting to be in this space and getting the opportunity to ask questions and really get into these kind of interviews. So again, thank you all for being here. And if Ashley, you want to go ahead with our first question.
Okay, so my first question that I have for Dr. Janet. So, when you were speaking about your work, absolutely beautiful. Everything that you were saying, and it really, sorry, also, my voice does not usually sound like this, everyone. I've lost it this weekend. But um, you spoke about like hearing your father's voice as you experience these trees. What exactly do you think he would say to you in that moment and also just now in the work that you're doing?
Thank you for a great question. I think my father would say, keep going. Don't stop now. Age is only a number. You can do anything you want to do. You just have to, just find the strength within yourself, use nature, trees, whatever, just to get yourself motivated and stay in the game. It's not over until it's over. You can't quit now. And one of the things he always left me with was he said, people, when they get to the rough part, that's when they quit because they can't see over the horizon. He said, but just right over the horizon is the sunrise. And that's where the change really begins. If you can just stay in there for that next moment.
Absolutely beautiful.
Thank
I
you.
will let Michelle lead into her next question, but I just wanted to say that really aligns so beautifully with all of the letters that they had written, especially when it comes to, your father telling you all these things about, it's not over till it's over, because that's really the truth.
Yes.
And I love how that connects to nature as well, because it's not over till it's over. You
No.
can always plant new things. You can always plant new seeds. So thank you
Absolutely.
so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and for my question, also ties back to something else you said, Dr. Jenner. When you were sitting outside in Sarasota and being surrounded by these trees, you kind of talked about feeling like your life was coming full circle at 71 and how it kind of felicitated this kind of rebirth or new growth. And I kind of feel like at my age of 22, I've already encountered like continuous lessons that I feel like I'm constantly having to learn and relearn. So I think for Dr. Janet and Miss Gloria, is there any lessons that you've encountered throughout your life that you feel like you're constantly having to learn and relearn as you grow and age?
Gloria, you want to go on that one?
I am. For me, it's it's learning people. We think we know how to respond to people because of things that we've gone through, but that evolves because we meet new people, we have new situations, and just entering this platform and being able to communicate to people in London. It's just constantly learning how to communicate. Yeah.
I would follow up by saying that I think the thing that is most important is probably flexibility and reflexivity, where once you make up your mind there's something you want to do, that you give yourself permission, and with the strength of nature and the trees, your ancestors, and all that has come before you, you stand on their shoulders metaphysically, and you just say, I'm going through. And I know there's going to be bumps in the road. I know it's not always going to be pretty. At the end, there's not going to be any cute music playing that says, hey, you did it, you're a winner. Nobody's going to give you a prize or a gold cup or anything like that. But you're just going to stay in there because that's what you choose to do. And that self-satisfaction from knowing that you're supported by such legacy, the ancestral piece, the nature piece, all the pieces that truly make us who we are. That's your prize. That's it.
And thank you guys so much for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So the next thing that I would like to go into a little bit is just, so we talk so much about how nature is a place of, comfort, shelter, growth. We talked a lot about how, we're planting these seeds, we're building our work. And something that really resonated with me when Gemini and Eryn were sharing their love letters was one of the lines that said, you are not just your work. And I imagine you guys have been putting in all the work and grinding and, constantly, working. And I just wanted to know, how do you both remind yourselves that you are not just your work? Like, are there people in your lives that you spend time with? Are there things that you use to like stay grounded? I'd love to know.
Well, I stay grounded by reaching out to other people, reaching out to young students, young scholars, anybody that can need a helping hand or an encouraging word. That's what I do. And I find that helps me to stay completely grounded. I can't get into the ego that, hey, I finished mine, whatever it was, 20 something years ago, and so I'm done. So good luck to the rest of them. That my ego is just not that strong when it comes down to somebody saying, "Hey, doc, can you take a read on this or tell me what you think about this?" I'm first of all, I'm honored by that request because when you get to be a certain age, there comes with that a certain amount of invisibility, and which is more or less widely culturally accepted. Where when you get old, you're sort of shoved off into the corner and left to do whatever people in the corner do, which I'll never know because I won't be left in anybody's corner ever. Ever. So yeah, that's what keeps me grounded. And when the work gets to be too much, I've always surrounded myself with the wisdom of elders, starting with some of my early career days where I had wise elders that would say, when it was almost like they knew I was having a bad day. And back then, of course, there were no cell phones, everything was a landline. And they call and say, well, hey, baby, you want to come by and maybe get a little lunch with me today? I know you got that big job you're doing, but maybe you can spare a few minutes. And of course, I love those moments. And so I'd have a meeting or something I need to do off site, and off I'd go. And one woman in particular even had a garage. Her name was Eula Cleveland, Anchorage, Alaska. Fabulous human being. She would leave her garage door open so I could drive my car in, and she would close the garage door. She'd go, well, the meeting's starting right now. Here's your plate, honey. Now take a load off, and we're going to just sit here and not going to think about that work thing, because remember, that's just how you make your money. That's not where you live. That's not who you are. That does not identify you or anything. And it certainly doesn't make you any less in the eyes of God. You just do what you need to do here and sit here. And those plates sustained a 21-year career for me in that place. They sustained me. Yeah, she absolutely sustained me totally. And I at the time I knew that she was sustaining me. Plus, she had great trees in her yard too. So I would go out and sit under the trees, and she'd say, "Baby, what you doing?" I say, "I'm sitting under the trees, Miss Eula, so I can revive myself." She said, "Well, I thought my greens had already done that." So it was always a big joke between me and her. But she was actually the bridge that got me over. And I think if there's anything that I can say moving forward to people is find bridges that will take you over, that don't have anything with your identity, whether it's self-constructed, world constructed, whatever. Find your people that will support you, no matter if you can write a dissertation or you can't read a whole book. Those are your people. And surround yourself with them. Your great memories of how you got here to begin with, they're all joy, all peace, and certainly love. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before I add any commentary on what you just said, which is absolutely beautiful, by the way, Miss Gloria, do you have anything that you would like to share as well?
For me, it's looking back at my parents, the way I was raised, and I can hear them still saying you can do whatever you want to do, even at my age. That does not stop. But it's also pouring into my branches, my children, my grandchildren, and looking and seeing the things that I've passed on to them that they will pass on to their children and grandchildren. So. Um, that's what keeps me grounded and it keeps me going.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And I love how, for both of you, it kind of goes into an intergenerational, whether it was your previous mentors above you, or it's you pouring into those who are making their way and who are figuring out what they need to be doing. I think that's absolutely beautiful. And it really ties into also the fact that we're cohorts 1 and 2 here. It adds that level of mentorship, that level of intergenerational. So thank you so much, both of you, for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and for my next question, kind of tying in Eryn and Gemini's love letters, um, I think constantly thinking back to what would I tell a younger self, you know? And I'll open this question to the chat as well, but to Dr. Janet and Miss Gloria, what is a love phrase, a love statement, a love word that you would give to your 20-year-old self or your 30-year-old self?
Go ahead, Gloria.
I'm going to say be bold. Don't stand back and watch life go by. You can just be bold, just be in it. Don't be shy.
Okay, I love that one, but now my response to that was, especially for me, you know what I'm going to say, Glo. I got to keep it between the lines because I've always been way too bold, way too in it, and way over the top. So yeah, there's a balancing piece there. There actually absolutely is. And if I had to say anything to my younger self, it would be to learn the importance of balance. Absolutely, the importance of balance. Yeah, yeah. Because I'm really grateful every day. I survived the '70s, and you know what they say about that. If you can remember it, you weren't really there. So yeah, you just have to learn how to manage yourself. And I could have done a much better job of self management, which I didn't. So yeah, balance would be my thing. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely trying to learn a sort of balance as I'm like growing into adulthood. I've talked to Dr. Omni about this, but adulting, she's a different kind of beast. And I think trying to find a balance between professional life and then personal life and still having time to be more than the work and to breathe is an ongoing challenge. So thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. And my last comment to that is try not to overthink it.
Thank you so much for sharing those. And also, as someone in their early 20s now, it's, you know, a lot of things that you have to be thinking about and have to be as an overthinking warrior myself. It is it is a lot. And thank you so much for sharing that with us because it's beautiful to see that you can be that way. You can overthink, you can, make those choices and figure out your choices and still end up in the places that you need to be. And you guys are living proof of that. So thank you
Thank you.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Another question that I have for both of you and that I would like to open up to the chat as well is how do you feel that you can bring like more nature into your space in like your everyday life? Is there something that you feel you can do or a little extra part of your day that you feel you can add on to bring more nature into your space?
I've learned to walk during my lunch breaks here, and it's not as much nature as it was in Sarasota, of course, but just being able to take those walks and look at nature around me, that helps a lot. But also, I've started getting more plants. Dr. Omni, she's inspired me, just looking at all that she's grown. She's planted so many seeds, physically as well. But I've gotten more plants here at work. I've gotten more plants at home. So I bring the greenery in whenever I can.
Thank you. I'd really have to think about that one. I think my answer is similar to yours, Gloria. I would need to bring more greenery into my spaces. I do have a lot of greenery, like in the front of my house, but virtually none in the back. And that's not a good thing. So I need more balance there. And part of the reason why I probably don't have as many plants as I should is because I almost live in a nature preserve. My whole yard is surrounded by trees, and of course we're starting the growing season. We planted gardens and done all that stuff and all the flowers. So but yeah, I could do better there. I definitely could. And I have added walking to the list just because after a certain age, if you don't move it, you lose it. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for sharing those. And I love how you, Dr. Janet and Ms. Gloria, you guys talk about how, important it is to have that nature in your space, but, how it might be, whether it's already there or whether you need to build upon your collection. As someone who got one of my first plants from Dr. Omni, I completely understand that, seed planting of new growth there. And Dr. Jen, I love how you brought back in that level of balance because it shows that you really can be balanced in different ways throughout your life.
Exactly.
That's absolutely beautiful. I'll turn it back over to you, Michelle.
Yeah, thank you, Ashley. And for my next question, this is usually Ashley's piece, but I'll bring in a little music aspect. What song artist would you say defined a growing period in your life?
The Isley Brothers. Thank God I finally outgrew that phase. My sister still says she's traumatized from listening to albums over and over again. I was a huge fan for years because I always felt like I wasn't making good decisions. And the Isley Brothers was the perfect soundtrack for my doubt, hesitation, and fear. And I have completely outgrown them now, thankfully.
For me, I wouldn't say a specific artist, but a genre of jazz. When I just finally embraced being able to listen to the music, the sounds, the instruments without having to hear words, that really, I knew I grew through and matured with the just music in general to be able to groove without having to sing along with all the words.
That part.
Yeah, I definitely resonate, Dr. Janet, with you saying the Isley Brothers, but not listening to them anymore.
Right.
Because there's always just this music that really does define a period of my life. I can't go back to it, but I'm glad that music was there for me when I
Exactly. But
needed it.
it's done. It's over.
Yeah, it's done. She's in the past, but I'm glad you were there when I needed it.
Right. And of course, right now, I think I'm defined more by, as Gloria said, I love smooth jazz, and I just don't need words anymore. I'm creating my own harmony, my own lyrics to these beautiful soundtracks.
Thank you guys so much for sharing. And
thank you.
the eras that you guys have of music. That's amazing. And I also feel the same way, Michelle. It's like once it's over, it's just done. And you don't have to go back to it again.
That's right.
Yeah, thank you. But before I ask my last question, I just wanted to refer over to the chat for a moment. I really think that those love is a statement, believe in yourself, you're powerful, and answer to my question of how do you feel you can bring more nature into your space? From Marie Claire, I co-founded a street tree planting charity, and now have 14 street trees on my street. I'm trying to get a 15th. That's absolutely amazing.
It is.
Kind of the reason I wanted to also go into the chat is because that brings me into my last question for you both is so how do you feel that you can thank the earth around you for all that it's given you, all that it's pouring into you? How do you feel that you can be planting those seeds, and how do you feel you can just thank your trees?
Well, I think I would thank my trees by just being a good steward and being mindful of the space and honoring of the space, almost with a sort of reverence, if that's possible, where you just you're celebrating having this space, and you have gratitude in the space, and always remaining mindful that it didn't have to be this. It could have been something different. We could live in places where it's all concrete, and we don't have the trees that we have that sustain us and inspire us. And so a little thing that I kind of always do whenever I'm out and about, particularly if I'm in another state or whatever, I always find a place to take a selfie of me with a tree. And that's my way of just saying, I'm glad you're here. And I hope you stay for a long time. And I hope that the people that follow me in this space, that they feel the same sense of rejuvenation, a light and love that I always feel when I'm in nature. Thank you.
You.
I'd say what I've gained being in nature. I want to bring my branches, my kids and grandkids into that space more. My son called me and he went on like a camping trip. And I was so amazed because I didn't know that he even wanted to do that or had the yearning to be in nature, but that did my heart good. And just to continue to, like I said, bring them more into nature, take more walks. I think I'm going to give them each a plant from me and say, even if it dies, it came from me, and just nurture it the best way that you know how.
Good way. Good deal.
That's amazing. And I know they will, nurture it, because once you're like given that plan, it's from that person that, is planting that seed for you. It's really great when you get to see it grow. So thank you both so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then for my final question, bringing it back to, I believe, Carla, who was talking about experiencing the four seasons for the first time. Last year, I moved from Florida to DC, and I too got to see all four seasons for the first time. It was my first time seeing snow. And I don't think you really notice how much of an effect that the seasons have on you until it's dead winter. Everything is cold and gloomy outside. And then you finally come around to spring and you finally feel the sun on your face. The flowers are blooming. So for my final question to both Dr. Jen and Miss Gloria, what season would you say that you're in right now?
I'd say that I'm probably in spring most of the time in terms of my life. That spring is totally my vibe, for lack of a better word there. I always feel like there's something new, there's something blooming, there's action, there's light, there's wisdom, love, spring is definitely my season, and I hang on to that. And of course, now that I live in Michigan, which does definitely have all four seasons, including some tornadoes periodically, I find spring to be sort of a maintenance thing for me. Because if I'm in spring when I've got like 5 inches of snow that suddenly appeared overnight like by magic, then in the wintertime, it doesn't dampen my spirit or take away my joy because I'm still carrying the beauty of spring and all that it means with me.
I'm going to also say spring. And when you start to really notice the different shades of the trees and flowers, and when they start to like really bloom a lot, I'm in the season of blooming. Um, of just starting to do things that I hadn't done in a long time, just to be in places that I haven't been in a long time. And I would say that I am definitely starting to bloom, even at my age.
And thank you guys so much for that. I think I'm similarly in a season of, I want to say I'm approaching more summer now. I feel like I had my period of where I was blooming, like you were saying, doing the maintenance, recovering from a long winter. But now I'm enjoying the sun, enjoying being outside, being surrounded by warmth. But yeah, thank you guys so much for your answers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great question.
Let's clap it up, y'all, for everyone, Dr. Janet, Miss Gloria, Michelle, and Ashley. Let's clap it up.
Thank you.
Y'all hear me say it. The team, y'all hear me say it. But I'm sitting back here like a proud auntie, witnessing all of this unfold from the very organic interviews to the love letters to the behind the scenes, Jovan giving us this energy of the readings, and of course, our elders and residents. I am a proud auntie right now. Thank y'all so very much. So we are with you for another 15 minutes, and we are going to, in the theme of things, we're going to plant some seeds. But before we plant some seeds, Jovan, is there anything we need to talk about in the chat? Because I'm about to ask them a question.
I believe we were okay. We were going through some of these comments about believing yourself, you are powerful, and also about the trees. So I think we're ready to move on to the next ones.
All right, thank you. Step number 5 of the Omni process. And if you're just joining us, the review is step number 1. How did I get here? And that is a two-part question of I being your identity, who is showing up in this space. Here could be geographical, it could be psychological, it could be emotional, it could be physical, whatever you define as here. That is a two-part question of how did I get here? Step number 2, eco mindfulness, tapping into your senses with the environment to create this new conversation of knowing. Step number 3 is picture taking. Step number 4, love letter writing. Step number 5, where do I go from here? So this step number 5, we're going to turn to the audience. You have been with us for an hour and 45 minutes. Based off of what you have heard from this last set of interviews coming from cohort number 1, from what you heard from the love letters from cohort number 3, and most importantly, what you have heard from our elders and residents, Dr. Gloria. I'm speaking that into existence. Okay, Dr. Gloria. Well, we will celebrate you walking across that stage again. Yes, ma'am. Dr. Janet and Mrs. Gloria. So to the audience, based off of what you have heard so far, please put in the chat, where do you go from here? I feel like, and I know, Jovan, you're reading the answers, but I do feel like that is a very hard question, Marie, and that could possibly take us over our 15 minutes. And we want to make sure that we honor your time. So we will go ahead and pause that question. You know what it is. Where do you go from here? We want to plant some seeds. So if you don't mind, everybody coming onto the camera, coming onto the stage, where we can see all the names and all the faces and really speak this into your heart and have some eye contact, and if possible, even take a screenshot of this moment because we want to plant some seeds. This is this has been in the making since before I was born. As I told you earlier, my grandma was gifted a Bible for Mother's Day for on May 9th, 1971. I was born in 1974. Inside of that Bible on April 16th, 1973, she wrote several words. As a matter of fact, I laminated one of the sheets from the Bible with all of her words on it. This particular sheet, it talks about never be afraid of trees. We will never leave you. She also wrote, I am the one to run worlds. I don't know if my grandma traveled internationally or not, but she had a way of writing her future and writing her granddaughter's future before I was born. So we believe in the power of speaking our intentions. We believe in the power of writing our intentions because this is my ancestral legacy. This is my lineage, my power, and we're speaking it before you today because there's somebody on this line who can help make this happen. So Michelle, if you could tell us briefly about how Bristol even happened, then I will plant the seed for London to happen.
Yeah, um even went back to try to find the initial email that I sent, but I can't find it. I don't know if it's through my FSU email or my actual Gmail account. But I want to say in 2023, um, Dr. Omni just tasked me with doing some international outreach for the Omni Institute. And me, with my international affairs brain, I got onto Google and did my search for Black arts organizations abroad. And I found the Black Southwest Network. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to send them an email, tell them about the amazing work that we were doing. Um, and I sent them an email. I don't remember if they responded to me or just reached out to
They went
Dr.
to you.
Omni.
They went to you.
Oh, they reached back out to me saying they would love to work with the Omni Institute. So we kept in contact, and then it birthed into, I believe it was a Omni Institute writing workshop, where Dr. Omni and Mr. Omni were actually able to travel to Bristol to do an in-person writing workshop, where we met uh, Miss Sheila and Mrs. Shiva, who then joined us for another round of interviews, a intergenerational story circle, where we were able to connect beyond generational divides, beyond international lines. And it was just an amazing experience that came from a undergraduate email sent on a whim. So it was an amazing thing to be able to see to fruition.
Thank you. The power of writing, the power of speaking. So the vision that I have, and I would love to help, I would love to see if you can help us make this happen. Do any of you remember student exchanges back in the day? I see head nods. A student exchange program is where a student from overseas would come to the States and the student from the States would go overseas and they would have a different learning experience. I want to do an elder exchange initiative. I want to do an elder in residence with you in London and then bring 2 Black elders from London to the States. I want it to also be intergenerational, where the team that you see here today, and I'm going to speak this into the universe so that Jovan, Ashley, Michelle, Eryn, and Gemini, that all of us, along with our inaugural cohort of elders in residence for Gloria and Dr. Janet, that we will come to London and do exactly what we did here and dive deeper into the Omni process so that you could see it play out in real time and that you can do it in real time. Then to bring those 2 elders back into our world here in the United States and do the same process with us here in the US. So I want to plant those seeds, whether you are the person who can help make that happen or you know of somebody, please reach out. I will put my contact information in the chat. And Michelle sent the first email, so I'm sure that the energy and the good vibes that she has, she's another person that you could reach out to. So Michelle, if you could put your email in the chat. And Jovan is, since we are going to have multiple international engagements, we will have 2 international consultants. Jovan, please put your information in the chat as well. That way our audience will have 3 ways to reach us, and it has been spoken. All right, it is now 7:55. We are going to turn it to you for either step number 5 of the Omni process of where do you go from here, or to ask our elders in residence any questions that you may have. The floor is yours to our London audience.
We have a response for step number 5. Continuing the mission to help my city dwellers understand that they are not separate to nature. They are nature. I love that.
Okay, I mean, are we allowed to add on? Just because I really love that response. And I feel like I resonated so well with that. And I think it speaks to where I was before I came into the Omni Institute. Because when I first found out about what work we would be doing, I kind of sat and I questioned myself because I felt like, well, I wasn't a part of nature or like I didn't involve myself in nature. But I feel like, when did I start? 2023? So it's been 3 years. I feel like my understanding of nature is so much more, I guess, nuanced and intimate. And I think in a way that like a lot of common average people kind of are taught similar to me, like where it's the idea that if you're not constantly in like the woods or like you're climbing mountains, you're not really in nature. But now I understand that nature is actually a part of me, right? It's the connection I have with elephants, right? And my mom and my grandmother and the matriarchs in my life and what that means to me, right? Water and how I traverse it and how it's a space for joy, like it bridges my love of being from South Florida, but also my Caribbean identity, but also too the fact that water is where I go to grieve my grandmother. So I think a lot of times we're kind of taught this one size fits all for nature when it's really so much more. It's the air we breathe, maybe the trees we see, the animals we encounter, right? Like Marie Claire said, like we're even nature ourselves, like us interacting, we are nature interacting with ourselves. So I feel like it's so important that we have these conversations and that we disseminate what nature really is outside of just the one size fits all standard. So I really loved that comment. Thank you so much.
Awesome. We have another comment in the chat. I have no questions. Just say I really appreciate your work, and you definitely planted seeds today. All the best for you, future Dr. Carla. I'd add that part at the end.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
I just want to say I really appreciated this like workshop and talk. And I definitely feel inspired. I was gonna type in the chat, but my like partner's computer's in Korean, so I couldn't say anything. So I just wanted to say that out loud.
Thank you.
I'd also like to just second that. I really enjoyed this experience. And I will definitely be sending an email. I'm hoping to do some consultancy work with Lewisham Council, that are a local authority in South East London. They currently have a Nature Towns and Cities programme where they're looking to bring greenery to underserved communities. And I feel like potential exchange, as it were, could be something that, if I get this proposal over the line with them, it'd be something that I'd really like to try and help make happen. So yeah, I'll be in touch.
Thank you. If there is nothing else, I have 8 o'clock on my end. We are going to take a screenshot, then we are going to breathe and dismiss. So I'm going to get my screenshot ready. Maybe. Get your pretty on. Check your hair, check your nose, check for any eye boogies. Get your good lighting on. All right. And the sun just came out, so I'm gonna go ahead and go like this. 3, 2, there it goes. All right. Thank you so very much for that. We are going to close out the way we started with some breath work. If you feel comfortable closing your eyes, please do so. If you're not in a safe or a sacred space where you're able to at least soften your gaze. In this moment, we breathe collectively. As we inhale, we are inhaling the wisdom that was shared from Miss Gloria. We are inhaling the wisdom that was shared from Dr. Janet. And we are exhaling our gratitude back out to them. We inhale the strength and the ability to navigate questions, to be able to bring forth these beautiful interviews that came organically. So we breathe in the space of gratitude for the work of Michelle, for the work of Ashley. We inhale that gratitude. We exhale our appreciation. We also breathe in the gratitude of the lovely love letters that were shared by Gemini and Eryn. We breathe for you in this moment. We exhale our gratitude. We breathe in the organizational and the leadership skills that were shared from behind the scenes and in front of the stage when Jovan was able to navigate this space for us for the last 2 hours. We inhale your gratitude and exhale our appreciation for you. We inhale collectively for the audience who made a decision, who invested 2 hours with us, who gave us their time. Time is the most important currency because it is something that you can never get back. We inhale and we thank you. And we exhale our gratitude. Lastly, most importantly, we breathe for our ancestors. We thank you for the line that enabled us to even be here today. I haven't been in church for a long time, but I do remember the passage of thinking about who we are and whose we are. So knowing that our moms, our dads, our grandparents, we are an extension of them. We breathe for them. Collectively, we inhale. Collectively, we exhale. Thank you so very much for joining Sitting with Trees, a green love letter to Black elder women. We leave you with 3 things. Put your hands up. I need you to give me a high five. Bring me a high five into the camera. Number 2, a hug. If I was there in person, I would give this to you, but now I ask you to give it to yourself. And lastly, 1 finger for hope. High fives, hugs, and hope. Thank you for joining us this morning or this afternoon in London. Be well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. We appreciate you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Yes, Marie, you had your hand up.
No. Sorry, that was a mistake.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how to work computers,
Well,
clearly.
you wanted to give us a for real high five. Okay.
Yeah.
We received that.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.